Have you received a copyright strike on YouTube? Does your account status and features page look something like this? I will show you exactly how to get through this based on my experience getting through it myself. This was my YouTube account for most of the last 2 months. It was frustrating. It was difficult. I was aggravated because I think, at least, I have a great YouTube channel that people love, and yet here's what it looked like. This copyright strike. My account's in bad standing. I couldn't upload longer videos. I couldn't use my external notifications. I couldn't create a paid channel, do unlisted or private videos. It was really painful, especially to my ego. I felt a lot of pain and frustration on account of this, because I have a YouTube channel that people like. You can see I've got millions of views, thousands of subscribers. I was really frustrated to get hit with a copyright strike when I had not used someone else's copyrighted material even. And so here's what my account looks like now. Everything's back in good standing. I successfully went through the counter notification process. I got my video restored. I'm going to show you exactly what to do in order to go through this process successfully, because this process has been the most frustrating thing I've went through on YouTube by far. There's nothing I've done that's been so frustrating. And so I'm going to take you to the place where you get this email from YouTube. I'll show you the email right now. I just got this. And do you know how happy I am to have received this email? Copyright at youtube.com. Hello, in accordance with the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, we've completed processing your counter notification. The content has been restored. Your account will not be penalized. Now, that seems like a miracle from looking at when my account looked like this before. And so it's really not that hard to go through and actually do this. I'll show you exactly what you have to do starting right now in order to get this done. So here's the beginning of it. I got this email, and this is where the nightmare all started. I received this copyright strike, and I got this email, and to keep the person who submitted it private, I'm just showing you the bottom part of the email, which is where the most critical thing you need to do is also. But it'll show you that your video has been taken down. It has an awful title like Copyright Takedown Notice. Real nasty title. And what you need to do to get your video to restored is go down to the bottom of the email where it says what to do next. And if you don't have this email for some reason, when you're in your status and features, as you saw right here, there's a submit counter notification button in here also. But it's right in the email. You just click on submit counter notification and you go through the process and submit the counter notification. Now, with that said, the video I had up on my YouTube channel, the copyright owner actually said there was no copyrighted material in it. They did not cite any actual material that was copyrighted. What they were is frustrated that I'd put up a video that talked about them and that showed up on their search terms for their name, and they hit me punitively with a copyright strike. Now that can happen, but if you've got hit with a legit copyright strike where you know you used someone's copyrighted material without their permission, then you risk losing your entire account if you go through the copyright counter notification process. So if you blatantly and knowingly took someone's video, for example, if you took someone's video completely straight from their YouTube channel and uploaded it directly back to your YouTube channel, you do not want to submit a counter notification unless you're willing to risk losing your whole account and you're risking getting sued. Here's what's going on with the counter notification process. YouTube took this video down because the person who filed this claim against me said that they were willing to initiate a lawsuit and that this was their copyright video. And so YouTube takes the video down. What you're doing when you go through the counter notification process, and I show you the steps later in this video, I'll take you through the actual process in order to submit your video. If you submit your copyright counter notification, you must give them, in order to remove this from your account, you must give them, the party that submitted the copyright strike against you, you must give them everything they need in order to file a lawsuit against you. I will show you right now from my channel, and then the counter notification I got in my email. So, it says, Dear Jerry Banfield, this is what you get as soon as you go through the process where you see that submit counter notification button. This is the email you get once you've done that. If we receive no response, your material will be restored to YouTube. That's how my material got restored. Now, why this happened, I provided the person who submitted this copyright claim with all of my personal information, my email address, my address, my physical address, my full name, and my phone number. I gave them all of that information because the point of doing this process is YouTube sets both parties up to go through a lawsuit. Now, most of the time that's not going to happen. But submitting this counter notification, the idea is you give the other party everything they need to file a lawsuit against you. Submitting a counter notification basically tells the person that submitted the video, go ahead and sue me. I didn't do anything wrong. And so you give them all of your information that they would need to go file a lawsuit. If the person who filed it's out of the country, a lot less of a concern of this. And if the person's in the same country as you, or they can have legal presence in that country, and you reasonably expect they could do a good job in court against you, you might not want to go through this process. In any other scenario, you absolutely want to submit this copyright counter notification as soon as possible. Immediately. You want to go submit it as soon as possible. And what you get is a little tiny thing in here. I will zoom in on it. You get a little tiny blurb to explain to them exactly what went on. So you can see this is a little paragraph I wrote. All you have to do is explain exactly why the copyright notification was wrong and or why you had the right to use this video. I thought, because the profile picture of the guy talked about in this video was included, I thought it was a good idea to mention that I had the right to use everything I did under fair use for news reporting. And so you can find things like this if you search fair use for news reporting. You can search the fair use rule on Wikipedia, wikipedia.org, wiki fair use. You can look under this and see in what circumstances you have the right to do this. So you go through and submit something like that, whether you want to reject that they had any right to it at all, or if they may have had copyright to it and you've used it in a way that's fair for news reporting. For example, and again, this is an example. This is not legal advice or anything. This is just a rough example. You took someone else's video they made and commented on it in a way that's relevant for news reporting. Say you took a viral video and then you commented on it the same way you might see the news doing, the same way you might see on a TV show. And you did that. That's fair. Or if you used it for educational purposes. You took, say, a viral video and pointed to several things in the video and said, okay, here's where they do this, and that's why this video might have got viral. That's fair use also. What you can't do is just take the video verbatim and upload it with the music and all, and then try and say that's fair use. So what you can do if you want to learn about fair use a little bit before you go submit your counter notification. And it's really important to go through and submit your counter notification as soon as possible. That was the main thing I did right. Almost as soon as I saw this, I went through and submitted my counter notification. And so here's what you need to submit your counter notification. You need your contact information. You need your full legal name. You need the specific URL of the exact video. So do not go through and delete the video. You leave the video up there and it will show then so the video will look like this, and you just want to leave it like this. And once you've submitted your counter notification, it will look like this and say counter notification pending. So you just leave it like that. And you can get to all of this by going to the copyright notices in your account and going to the support information on YouTube about this. So that means you'll need all of your personal information, as I've showed you towards the end here. All of your personal information, the URL, you must agree to the following. You must swear that this is exactly what you're saying, and then you give your physical and electronic signature. So that's all you have to do to submit your counter notification. And you want to go and do that immediately. And now, then you get the most challenging part of doing this. And let me show you why it was challenging. So I submitted this, and this all started on the date I got that original email. So I'll show you that again. So here's how long all of this took. So I got the copyright notice on April 5th, 2015. I got the email confirming my counter notification on April 7th. So this was a Sunday. So then 2 days later, I got the email confirming they'd received and forwarded my counter notification. Then on May 22nd, 2015, I got the email saying my video was reinstated. So I hope the most helpful thing out of this is that it will take patience, and that's normal for it to take that long. I know I was frustrated because when you get this email, when you get the one here from YouTube, it says 10 to 14 business days from today. Last time I checked, April 7th to May 22nd is not 10 to 14 business days. It's a lot longer. The important thing is the video did get reinstated. As you saw, the penalty did get removed from my account, going from a place of frustration and getting these emails over to now where my account's in good standing. It did get removed. And I think the default seems to be, if you go through and do this process, as soon as you get the copyright takedown notification, you go in and submit the counter notice with as much relevant information you can have on fair use or on how you own the copyright. You get your counter notification received email, and then you just play the waiting game. Now, the other scenario, you can actually get the other party to retract their takedown notice. So if you see that in the email YouTube sent me, you can also contact the party that removed your video to ask them to retract their takedown. Now, that's not likely to work, and that did not work for me. I had been in communication with the person who initiated this process on my channel prior to them doing this. They did this, and then even though I sent them an email, a Facebook message, a message on another platform, they ignored all of them. And so it's worth trying at least to politely request that the other person retract their takedown, and that you in return will do something for them, such as delete the video or whatnot. So it's much better if you can get them to retract their takedown. So that is a much faster option. And I will bet lots of times this does happen the same way it happened with me, where I actually had some kind of relationship with the person who did this to my account. They did it knowing it was purely punitive, and if you can repair that kind of relationship, you can get a retracted takedown also. Otherwise, you may have to sit through and wait through all of these process you just saw me show you here. You may have to wait nearly 2 months from the time it happens. But it's worth the wait. If you've got a YouTube channel that you're using the features on, it's worth the wait. So I hope this can help you. If you're in the middle of a copyright counter notification, understand that yes, it might take a while. And I've included the links in this video to the things you'll need to know about relevant to submitting counter notifications. And I hope this video is useful for you, because I know this was a very challenging thing for me on YouTube. And so I hope this is useful for you in what you're doing with your YouTube channel. I hope this gives you the courage and the motivation to go through and do that counter notification right now to get that process started, unless you're in a place where you know you totally just copied the other party and you don't want to actually have any repercussions legally from it. So I hope all of this is useful for you. I make all of these things because I teach Udemy courses on YouTube, on Facebook, SEO, things like that. So this is a part of my Udemy course, and I've also put this particular video on YouTube to help people out who are struggling with the same things that I've struggled with. So if you haven't got this course already, go in and grab it right here. And if you already have some of my courses, you can just go to jerrybanfield.com/Udemy and you can get lots of my courses at a huge discount here. So thank you very much for going through this video with me. I appreciate the time you've spent here looking at my nearly 2 months through the copyright process, and I hope this is useful for you in getting through any copyright takedown issues or copyright strikes you have on your account.